everyone! Welcome to my channel. My name is Kim and I'm a Filipina living here in Slovakia. I hope that you are having a great start of the year. If you are new in my channel, here I talk about all my life experiences living in this small beautiful country in the heart of Europe, Slovakia. And if you are an avid viewer of my channel, let me thank you from the bottom of my heart for a year of supporting me by watching and commenting in all of my videos. I hope that you will continue to follow my journey here in Slovakia. And as I have mentioned in my last video, if you've watched it, I have a big news to share with you guys, and that is I have a baby in my tummy now. Some of you have predicted it already, even waited for it, suggested it, and it is finally happening now. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you my current experiences, especially to foreigners like me who are planning or already living here in Slovakia and planning to have a family life. I am covering mainly my experience about the healthcare system here in Slovakia. Of course, I'm not saying that my experience will be very similar to your experience, but hopefully what I'm going to share in this video will help you have a better understanding what it's like, the healthcare system here in Slovakia. I would actually compare what it's like in my home country, Philippines, so we can have a better comparison. In Slovakia, whether you're coming from a non-EU or EU countries and you decide to live here, maybe permanent or temporary, you always have to have an health insurance. Now, there are three big health insurance companies that you can choose from. Those are Dovera Poisťovňa, Union, and Zdravotná Poisťovňa. I'm not gonna make a comparison of the three. It's up to you which one you choose. It doesn't matter if you're employed or not, you will always have to pay your health insurance. So it's either your employer pay it on your behalf or you pay it yourself. And the amount depends actually on some percentage of your income. Now, if you get sick, it's not a straightforward that you go to some hospital or clinic and get yourself checked. You actually have to have a general doctor first that you have to find for yourself and registered under. So if you get sick, you have to visit your general doctor. He or she will advise you if you need to see a specialist or will prescribe pills for you if it's not so serious. My experience of finding a general doctor is not that difficult, I would say, because my husband is a Slovak, so he did all the speaking and all the paperwork for me. But I could imagine that for some foreigners who doesn't know the language, it might be very difficult. Some of these general doctors actually does not accept new patients anymore because they're full or have a lot of patients already under their wings. And there's not a lot of English-speaking general doctors, especially in rural areas. For my case, I actually have my general doctor in Bratislava, even though I live 2 hours away from Bratislava. Now, let's say you would need a specialist. For example, in my experience, when I found out that I was pregnant, I needed to find an OBGYN doctor, right? So I asked my general doctor if she can recommend me to somebody, but unfortunately, I have to find the OB for myself. And it's the same thing for endocrinologists. When I needed one, I have to find for myself as well. Which is a little bit weird for me because in the Philippines, if I go to the hospital for a check and I would need another doctor, the nurse would just actually point me to the next door or to the next doctor and I can get myself checked. And here, it is not the case. You have to actually scout the internet, ask people you know for any recommendations so you can find for yourself. And again, it's a big problem because not a lot of these doctors speak English or they don't want to take new patients anymore. Another thing that is important to mention is that whatever health insurance you choose from those three I mentioned earlier, they will only cover the cost of your checkups or whatever if you go to a public clinic or hospitals. There might be some clinics that are private, and if you go there, you need to pay an extra amount of money for each visits or services. For example, in my case, when I found my first gynecologist in Bratislava, I have to pay 20 euros for each visit. Even though I have my health insurance already, it's because they are a private clinic. But that actually doesn't mean that the service would be better, because now I have my second gynecologist just because I wanted to have my doctor closer to me because the first one is in Bratislava and it's a public clinic, and I would say that I like her more. It is really about whether you find a good doctor or not and what is a good doctor for you. One thing I felt when I was scrambling to find my gynecologist when I found out that I was pregnant is that the medical practitioners, mostly those I met, were less sympathetic than I hoped that they would be. Or maybe I was just used to the fact that the Filipino nurses or medical practitioners there in my own country are really, really nice. I am not being biased here because my Slovak husband has the same opinion as me, because we used to live in the Philippines before and he has a first-hand experience in the hospitals there, and he said that he liked more the approach of the doctors and the nurses in there. When I found out that I was pregnant, I was in total shock and my emotions were all over the place. I have so many worries and I was so scared. And the last thing I wanted to experience or have is a cold doctor who rushes to tell you everything and not giving you enough time to digest things and ask questions. Another piece of information that I think is very important to mention here is that when you see ambulancia written in some places, it does not actually mean the ambulance service that we know in English. It's sort of like a clinic. So when you see zubna ambulancia, it's actually a dental clinic. So hospital is called nemocnica, and I think this information is very important when you start looking for a place to go. Then if you find yourself to be really sick and you need to be on leave for a very long time, you need to inform your company. Your HR will actually ask you for a document. It's called PN, and it's gonna come from your doctor stating that you will be in a longer sick leave. You need this paper so that the health insurance can pay you while you are in sick leave. And I'm not sure about the percentage, but I think it's 60% of your salary. So what is my overall impression of the healthcare system here in Slovakia? First, I think it's expensive. For the amount of money that I am paying currently now for my health insurance, if I use that money or pay that money for health insurance in the Philippines, it will take me a long, long way. And I would say that the service would be much better. For the government-run health insurance company in the Philippines, the minimum contribution I think is just around 7 euros a month. And if you are employed, half of it is actually paid by your employer. A lot of companies, whether public or private companies in the Philippines, are offering an additional health card for their employees. For example, when I was working there, on top of my government mandatory health insurance, I also have my own health card, which I pay, for example, 200 euros for a year already. And that gives me access to major private hospitals, big hospitals in the Philippines. And on top of that, I can have an additional beneficiary, could be a parent or your husband. So how it works is that I just go to the hospital, I show them my card, tell them what I feel or what services I need, and they just take me to the doctor. And if I need to see another doctor, the burden of finding another doctor is not on me, but on the nurse that is assigned to me. Second, I was actually really missing the warm approach of Filipino medical practitioners. They're nice and sympathetic, and I think this is the reason why there's a lot of demand for countries from Germany, Australia, UK, US for the Filipino nurses because of this kind of approach. And it's a shame that they have to leave Philippines because of better opportunities in these countries and of course, better pay. But I guess it's the same here in Slovakia as well. I know that a lot of good and young doctors and nurses are going to countries like Austria or Germany because they can have a better opportunities or better pay in those countries. But I guess that's the reality nowadays. Recently, the Slovak healthcare is in the process of agreement with the government about some changes in the system, so I hope that it will become better in the future. But it is not all bad here in Slovakia. For example, I really like the fact that the maternity leave here in Slovakia is 3 years. I was so shocked when I found out because in the Philippines, we only have, I think, 3 months or 100 days. And then you are expected to go back to your work like a real Amazona. But here you can go for maternity for 3 years and you will have a support from the government. For the first 6 months, you will get paid 75% of your salary. Not sure about the percentage if it's the updated one, but I think it used to be 60%. When I receive mine, I will update you how much is the percentage I received. And then from 7 months to 3 years, you will receive 380 euros per month from the government as a support because you have to take care of the baby and you cannot work. Of course, it will not cover all your expenses. It's not meant to be, but for me, it's a huge help. On top of this, when you have a regular or permanent contract with your company, your job is secured. Meaning to say, your company is obliged to keep your position for 3 years so you can have a peace of mind that when you come back, you still have a job. I think this is really a nice benefit that Slovakia is providing. There are pros and cons in any health insurance system, whatever country it is. What I've learned is that appreciate the bright side and accept the not so bright side. So that's all from me, guys. I hope that all the information that I've shared here in this video are useful for everybody. And hey, if you are a Slovak citizen watching this video and you have more information about the healthcare insurance system here in Slovakia, or you have the most updated information, please share it in the comment section below. I think it will be very, very helpful for foreigners like me. So thanks everyone. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to support me more, you can be my member. So just click the join button below. See you in my next video. Ciao!